Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name is Daniel, and I'm the Vegan Nazarite. Today, we're going to be doing a Torah reading. I think it's 5 of 52. But first, I want to read why it's important to know the Torah. And for that, I'm going to go to the New Testament, because a lot of Christians basically abandon the law and they say, oh, all we need to do is believe, and all this stuff that really makes no sense. But when you go to the actual New Testament, we read that there was the early apostles and the early, I'm not going to say church, but the early assemblies in the first century did have a lot of respect for the Torah, every one of them. So I'm just going to go to Acts 15, 19 to 21. And I'm reading here from the King James. Well, in Acts 15, there's a big council. They were debating whether to, if the new Christians have to be circumcised and a few things that the Pharisees were trying to propagate. Well, they have a council and then they decide. And James is the one who's speaking here. So I'm going to start on Acts 15, 19. Wherefore, my sentence is that we trouble not them which among the Gentiles are turned to God. Verse 20, but we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. For Moses of all time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day. So, by the way, that's what we're doing today. We're reading the Torah on the Sabbath day. So, again, I'm trying to go back to the earlier followers of Yeshua. Now, what's important here, what I find is verse 21. For Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogue every Sabbath day. So, when we go back to the initial argument, whether they should be teaching what the Pharisees were teaching or not, well, the Pharisees had a lot of added traditions and added things to the Torah. So we see from James' ruling that all these religious customs and things, may or may not have had any relevance to the Torah. What James does decide is that the Torah is important. And he says, when I read verse 21, I get that James is he's almost laughing here, saying, why do you guys even mention this? Moses, anybody who wants to know about Yah or Yahweh or the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob can go to any synagogue and learn about the Torah on any given Sabbath day in pretty much any given city. So again, when I read verses like this in the New Testament, it reinforces that the law is not abandoned. Remember, Yeshua teaches us, not one jot or tittle will be removed from the law. And he's talking about the law of Moses. So, when we read this, I find, and I am convinced 100%, that this is the kind of thing that proves to me the Torah and the law of Moses was part an integral part of every believer of Yeshua in the early assemblies. I just wanted to share this because even though the earlier apostles do say that the law of Moses is the cornerstone, so to speak, and again, the four commands that James recommends that we start with, which are abstain from pollution of idols. Well, that's the first commandment, and the second commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me, nor and the making of idol, you shall not make an idol of anything that resembles anything in earth, heaven, and below the earth. Fornication, which is basically the adultery command. Things strangled and from blood. Well, guess what? Eating things strangled, strangle basically means with their blood. So you kill an animal and you don't drain the blood. You basically eat it with the blood still in it, and from blood itself. So those two last commands are not part of the 10 Commandments. So everybody that says that the commandments are still good, yet the other parts, the commands of the Torah, are not good. Well, we see James here choosing 2 commands out of the 10 Commandments and another 2 commands straight out of the Torah. And I know the blood commands are in Leviticus somewhere. This is not a teaching per se on the New Testament, but I mean, it proves to me that these commands are not only important, but they're also being followed by the early followers of Yeshua. So there you go. My revelation for this Sabbath day, which is basically the same thing I preach every Sabbath day. Look at the Torah, read the Torah, just like Yeshua did. It was his custom to read the law and the prophets every Sabbath day during his time on earth. Okay, so today's Torah portion is Toledot, which is going to be Genesis 25:19 to 28:9. And Nevi'im, or the prophets, is going to be Malachi 1:1 to 2:7. I'm going to switch from the King James to my Tanakh. Toledot. This is a story of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took to wife Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram, sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac pleaded with the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was barren. And the Lord responded to his plea, and his wife Rebekah conceived. But the children struggled in her womb and said, "If so, why do I exist?" She went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord answered her, "2 nations are in your womb, 2 separate peoples shall issue from your body. One people shall be mightier than the other, and the older shall serve the younger." When her time to give birth was at hand, there were twins in her womb. The first one emerged red, like a hairy mantle all over, so they named him Esau. Then his brother emerged, holding on to the heel of Esau, so they named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when they were born. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the outdoors, but Jacob was a mild man who stayed near the camp. Isaac favored Esau because he had a taste for game, but Rebekah favored Jacob. Once, when Jacob was cooking a stew, Esau came in from the open famished, and Esau said to Jacob, "Give me some of that red stuff to gulp down, for I am famished," which is why he was named Edom. Jacob said, "First, sell me your birthright." And Esau said, "I am at the point of death, so what of use is my birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore to him and sold him his birthright to Jacob. Jacob then gave Esau bread and lentil stew. He ate and drank, and he rose and went away. Thus Esau spurned his birthright. Chapter 26. There was a famine in the land, aside from the previous famine that had occurred in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. The Lord had appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Stay in the land which I point out to you. Reside in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. I will assign all these lands to you and your heirs, fulfilling the oath that I swore to your father Abraham. I will make your heirs as numerous as the stars of heaven, and assign your heirs all these lands, so that all the nations of the earth shall bless themselves in your heirs, inasmuch as Abraham obeyed me and kept my charge, my commandments, my laws, and my teachings." So Isaac stayed in Gerar. When the men of the place asked about his wife, he said, "She is my sister." For he was afraid to say my wife, thinking the men of the place might kill me on the account of Rebekah, for she is beautiful. When some time had passed, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looking out of the window, saw Isaac fondling his wife Rebekah. Abimelech sent for Isaac and said, "So she is your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?" Isaac said to him, "Because I thought I might lose my life on the account of her." Abimelech said, "What have you done to us? One of the people might have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." Abimelech then charged all the people, saying, "Anyone who molests this man or his wife shall be put to death." Isaac sowed in that land and reaped 100-fold in the same year. The Lord blessed him, and the man grew richer and richer until he was very wealthy. He acquired flocks and herds and a large household, so that the Philistines envied him. And the Philistines stopped up all the wells which his father's servant had dug in the days of his father Abraham, filling them with earth. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you have become far too big for us." So Isaac departed from there and encamped in the Wadi of Gerar, where he settled. Isaac dug anew the wells which had been dug in the days of his father Abraham, and which the Philistines had stopped up after Abraham's death. And he gave them the same names that his father had given them. But when Isaac's servant, digging in the wadi, found there a well of spring water, the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdmen, saying, "The water is ours." He named that well Esek, because they contended with him. And when they dug another well, they disputed over that one also. So he named it Sitnah. He moved from there and dug yet another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called it Rehoboth, saying, "Now, at last, the Lord has granted us ample space to increase in the land." From there, he went up to Beersheba. That night, the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Fear not, for I am with you. and I will bless you and increase your offspring for the sake of my servant Abraham." So he built an altar there and invoked the Lord by name. Isaac pitched his tent there, and his servants started digging a well. And Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Ahuzah, his counselor, and Phicol, chief of his troops. Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, seeing that you have been hostile to me and have driven me away from you?" And they said, "We now see plainly that the Lord is with you. And we thought, let there be a sworn treaty between our two parties, between you and us. Let us make a pact with you that you will not do us harm, just as we have not molested you, but have always dealt kindly with you and sent you away in peace. From now on, be you blessed of the Lord." Then he made for them a feast, and they ate and drank. Early in the morning, they exchanged oath. Isaac then bade them farewell, and they departed from him in peace. That same day, Isaac's servants came and told him about the well they had dug, and said to him, "We have found water." He named it Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took to wife Judith, daughter of Berai the Hittite, and Basma, daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they were a source of bitterness to Isaac and Rebekah. Chapter 27. When Isaac was old, his eyes were too dim to see. He called his oldest son Esau and said to him, "My son." He answered, "Here I am." And he said, "I am old now, and I do not know how soon I may die. Take your gear, your quiver and bow. Go out in the open and hunt me some game. Then prepare a dish for me as I like, and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my innermost blessing before I die." Rebekah had been listening to Isaac as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. When Esau had gone out in the open to hunt the game to bring home, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "I overheard your father speaking to your brother Esau, saying, 'Bring me some game and prepare a dish for me to eat, that I may bless you with the Lord's approval before I die.' Now, my son, listen carefully as I instruct you. Go to the flock and fetch me 2 choice kids, and I will make of them a dish to your father, such as he likes. Then take it to your father to eat, in order that he may bless you before he dies." Jacob answered his mother Rebekah, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am smooth-skinned. If my father touches me, I shall appear to him as a trickster and bring upon myself a curse, not a blessing." But his mother said to him, "Your curse, my son, be upon me. Just do as I say, and go fetch them for me." He got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother prepared a dish such as his father liked. Rebekah then took the best clothes of her older son Esau, which were there on the house, and her younger son Jacob put them on. And she covered his hands and the hairless part of his neck with the skins of the kids. Then she put the hands of her son Jacob, the dish, and the bread that she had prepared. He went to his father and said, "Father." And he said, "Yes, which of my sons are you?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Pray, sit up and eat of my game, that you may give me your innermost blessing." Isaac said to his son, "How did you succeed so quickly, my son?" And he said, "Because the Lord your God granted me a good fortune." Isaac said to Jacob, "Come closer, that I may feel you, my son. whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob drew close to his father Isaac, who felt him and wondered. The voice is the voice of Jacob, yet the hands are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him because his hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau. So he blessed him. He asked, "Are you really my son Esau?" And when he said, "I am," he said, "Serve me and let me eat of my son's game, that I may give you my innermost blessing." So he served him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come close and kiss me, my son." And he went up and kissed him, and smelled his clothes, and he blessed him, saying, "Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of the fields that the Lord has blessed." May God give you of the dew of the heaven and the fat of the earth, abundance of new game and wine, grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow to you. Be master over your brothers, and let your mother's sons bow to you. Cursed be they who curse you, blessed they who bless you. No sooner had Jacob left the presence of his father Isaac than his brother Esau came back from the hunt. He too prepared a dish and brought it to his father. And he said it to his father, "Let my father sit up and eat of his son's game, so that you may give me your innermost blessing." His father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am your son Esau, your firstborn." Isaac was seized with very violent trembling. "Who was it then," he demanded, "that hunted game and brought it to me? Moreover, I ate of it before you came, and I blessed him. Now he must remain blessed." When Esau heard his father's words, he burst into wild and bitter sobbing, and said to his father, "Bless me too, father." But he answered, "Your brother came with guile and took away your blessing." Esau said, Was he then named Jacob that he might supplant me these 2 times? First he took away my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing." And he added, "Have you not received a blessing from me?" Isaac answered, saying to Esau, "But I have made him master over you. I have given all his brothers for servants and sustained him with grain and wine. What then can I still do for you, my son?" And Esau said to his father, "Have you but one blessing, father? Bless me too, father." And Esau wept aloud. And his father Isaac answered, saying to him, "See, your abode shall enjoy the fat of the earth, and the dew of heaven above. Yet by your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. But when you grow restive, you shall break his yoke from your neck." Now Esau harbored a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing which his father had given him. And Esau said to himself, "Let but the mourning period of my father come, and I will kill my brother Jacob." When the words of her older son were reported to Rebekah, she sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, "Your brother Esau is consoling himself by planning to kill you. Now, my son, listen to me. Flee at once to Haran, to my brother Laban. Stay with him a while, until your brother's fury subsides, until your brother's anger against you subsides, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will fetch you from there. Let me not lose you both in one day." Rebekah said to Isaac, "I'm disgusted with my life because of the Hittite woman. If Jacob marries a Hittite woman like these from among the native women, what good will life be to me?" Chapter 28. So Isaac sent for Jacob and blessed him. he instructed him, saying, "You shall not take a wife among the Canaanite women. Go up to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife there from among the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. May El Shaddai bless you, make you fertile and numerous, so that you may become an assembly of peoples. May he grant the blessing of Abraham to you and to your offspring, that you may possess the land where you are sojourning, which God assigned to Abraham." Then Isaac sent Jacob off, and he went off to Padan Aram, to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, brother of Jacob and Esau. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him off to Padan Aram to take the wife from there, charging him, as he blessed him, "You shall not take a wife from among the Canaanite women." And that Jacob obeyed his father and mother and gone to Padan Aram. Esau realized that the Canaanite women displeased his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael and took the wife, in addition to the wives he had, Mahaltha, the daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham, sister of Nebaioth. And that's the Torah reading for today. Let's go to the prophets. And today the prophets is going to be Malachi 1:1 to chapter 2:7. Malachi. As a pronouncement, the word of the Lord to Israel through Malachi. "I have shown you love," said the Lord, "but you ask, how have you shown us love? After all, declares the Lord, Esau is Jacob's brother, yet I have accepted Jacob and I have rejected Esau. I have made his hills a desolation, his territory a home for beasts of the desert. If Edom thinks, though crushed, we can build the ruins again, thus says the Lord of hosts, they may build, but I will tear down. And so they shall be known as a region of wickedness, the people damned forever of the Lord. Your eyes shall behold it, and you shall declare, great is the Lord beyond the borders of Israel. A son should honor his father, and a slave his master. Now, if I am a father, where is the honor due to me? And if I am a master, where is the reverence due to me? Said the Lord of hosts. To you, O priests who scorn my name. But you ask, how have we scorned your name? You offer defiled blood on my altar. But you ask, how have we defiled you? By saying, the table of the Lord can be treated with scorn. When you present a blind animal for sacrifice, it doesn't matter. When you present a lame or sick one, it doesn't matter. Just offer it to your governor. Will he accept you? Will he show you favor? Said the Lord of hosts. And now implore the favor of God. Will he be gracious to us? This is what you have done. Will he accept any of you? The Lord of hosts has said, if only you would lock my doors and not kindle fire on my altar to no purpose. I take no pleasure in you, said the Lord of hosts. I will accept no offering from you. For where the sun rises to where it sets, my name is honored among the nations, and everywhere incense and pure oblation are offered to my name, for my name is honored among the nations, saith the Lord of hosts. But you profane it when you say the table of the Lord is defiled, and the meat, the food, can be treated with scorn. You say, oh, what a bother. And you degrade it, said the Lord of hosts, and you bring the stolen, the lame, and the sick, and you offer such as an oblation. I will accept it from you. Will I accept it from you, saith the Lord? A curse on the cheat who has an unblemished male in his flock, but for his vow sacrifices a blemished animal to the Lord. For I am a great king, said the Lord of hosts, and my name is revered among the nations. And now, O priests, here is the charge for you. Unless you obey, and unless you take it to heart, and do honor my name, saith the Lord of hosts, I will send a curse and turn your blessings into curses. Indeed, I have turned it into curses because you do not lay it to heart. I will put your seed under a ban, and I will strew dung upon your faces, the dung of your festal sacrifices, and you shall be carried out to all its heap. Know then that I have sent this charge to you, that my covenant with Levi may endure, saith the Lord of hosts. I had with him a covenant of life and well-being, which I gave to him, and of reverence, which he showed me, for he stood in awe of my name. Proper rulings were in his mouth, and nothing perverse was on his lips. He served me with complete loyalty and held the many back from iniquity. For the lips of a priest guard knowledge, and men seek rulings from his mouth. For he is a messenger of the Lord of hosts. And that was the prophets. Thank you for listening to me on this Sabbath day. May you be blessed in the Lord Almighty. Amen.